Heinemann Higher, Chapter 4, Trigonometry, Graphs and Equations, Exercise 4, J, the mixed questions at the end. Number 8 is not calculate the answers to these equations, but read them from the graph. Well, not obviously drawing it properly there because you need the scale, which is a bit of a paste. And when you look at the back for the answers, those answers at the back are the correct answers arrived at by solving the equation, not what you would get by trying to squint at these little squares and estimate exactly what fraction of a square. So I'm not going to do that. But one thing you will need to do is get the scale. Well, up the way is easy enough because they've got boxes. There's boxes showing where 1, 2 and 3 are, rather dotted lines across the way are showing you 1, 2 and 3. That's not the problem. It's across the way. By 90 degrees, it's got 5, 10, 15, 20. Along the way, 20 boxes take you to 90 degrees. And of course, that's another wavelength, so that'd be 180 at the end, which means that each box is worth dividing by 2, 4.5 degrees. And it's difficult to judge a fraction. Half a box you might be able to judge, but less than that. So I'm probably just going to go to the nearest box. So what does the first one say? It says this. Right, well that's quite clear. 3 sine 4x, and that's what it is, 3 sine 4x. This graph is y equals that. This graph shows all the answers to 3 sine 4x. So if I want 3 sine 4x equals 2, I just go to 2 and then I read my answers off from that. And since it says from 0 to 180, that means I'll need all 4 of these. So I'm not doing it by solving, so it says read it from this. So I'll need to guess how many boxes that is. So when you go to that 2 line, the dotted line, it looks about 2. You could argue it's 2 in a bit. I'm just going to have to say it's 2 boxes. So I think the first answer is at 2. So I've got an answer at 2 boxes. I've got an answer at, the next one's going to be, that's 5, that's 2 back from 10 at 8 boxes. So I've got 2 and 8 boxes, and I probably won't go to the other 2 because I can see the wavelength is 90. So that these must be 90 apart, so I'll just add 90 onto whatever those 2 answers are. So I've got that, plus I've got 90 for the other 2. So I'm going to say x equals, well 2 will be 2 times 4.5. So I've got 2 times 4.5, I've got, 8 times 4.5, and then I've got the same 2 plus 90 degrees. So I've got x equals 9 degrees, x equals 36 degrees, just by going 4 times that, 36 degrees, and then that one must be 90 more than that, so 99 degrees, and 90 more than that, 126 degrees. That's what I put down for my 4 answers. I know there should be slightly more than that, but I can't squint and see exactly what fraction of a box more than 2 that is. Second one then, only up to 90 this time. Now I need to rearrange this to read 3 sine 4x, because these are the answers for 3 sine 4x. So if I take that across and read it backwards, that just says 3 sine 4x equals 1. So for these answers, I'm just going to go to the answers at 1 and read them across. Only want them as far as 90, so it's only those 2. Again, it's a case of squint at the boxes. There's only 2 answers. Now, the first line then looks like it's just 1 box. It's 1 and a bit, but I can't judge that. So I'm just going to say 1. So this time I think it's at 1, and correspondingly, it would have to be 1 short of the 10 and 9. So I'm just going to say it's at 1 and 9. So for 1, that would just be 1 box is 4.5 degrees. As far as I can judge, it might be slightly more than that. And for 9 boxes, that'll be 9 times 4.5, so that'll be 36, 40.5 degrees. As far as I can read it. So here for C. Now that's all jumbled up. That's the graph for 3 sine 4x. I'll need to rearrange this to read 3 sine 4x equals, so I can see what number to look for. So that would be 3 sine 4x equals, take that 2 across and add it, equals 3. Well, that's just the tops then. I want it all the way across. So at 3, I'm only hitting it there and there. In fact, I don't need to read the graph for that because I can see where the answers are. Because that's going to be a quarter of the way along. So that's going to be a quarter of 90. That's 22.5 degrees. And that one's just going to be the same again. 22.5, a quarter beyond the 90, so 90 onto that, 112.5 degrees. Didn't actually count the boxes, but I did really read the graph because I did the quartering business. There, that's question 8.